What's up, super people? My name is Aaron Oster. I am a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. And today, I thought I'd talk about my move from New York to Pennsylvania, the differences, the pros and cons that I've noticed. And yeah, for all 5 of you watching, if you could just destroy that like button and subscribe, it'd be really helpful. Also, if you've got anything you want to know about writing, publishing, or the business of it all, just let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate it. So with that said, let's get right into the video. Oh, and before I forget to mention, my box set of the first 5 books in my Rise to Omniscience series is on sale now for 99 cents. Yeah, that's 650,000 words or 2,000 pages worth of content for 99 cents. Now, if you think you're, because I'm selling it for so little that it's not worth the value, I can assure you that tomorrow it's going to be going up to full price. So if you want to grab it, you've got, well, I guess depending on when you're watching it, if you're watching this when it comes out, then you've still got time. If you're watching this tomorrow, and by tomorrow I mean Thursday the 25th? Or the 24th? I don't know, I'm mixed up in my dates. Whatever it is, you still got time to buy it now. Anyway, so, let's get right into the video. So, for most of my life, I lived in Rockland, New York, which is, it's about 40 miles outside the city. And my grandparents have actually been living here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where I moved for many, many years. I used to live in Brooklyn when I was really little. I grew up in Rockland, and then finally this year I decided I was going to make the move out here. I'd always wanted to move. Never been a huge fan of New York in general, but I thought I'd talk about some of the pros and cons of moving here. Just in case anyone else wants to get out of New York and is looking for somewhere else to go. So, of course, because I'm such a positive guy, I'm just going to start with the cons right off the bat. So, starting off with con number 1, for me personally anyways, I'm a Jewish boy, and one of the major cons about living around here is that there are, like, no kosher grocery stores. Now, while that can be seen as a pro, because kosher grocery stores are a bloody fortune, it makes getting my hands on any kosher stuff a bit hard. The closest kosher grocery store would be in Baltimore, which is about an hour and a half away, and taking that kind of drive is a pain. There are also no kosher takeout places, so I gotta literally cook everything, which again, a pain, but I do save myself money, so take that with a grain of salt. For con number 2, is that it's kind of far away from a lot of things. I mean, there isn't a whole lot to do out here entertainment-wise, and my favorite movie theater chain, AMC, doesn't have a theater anywhere, so I'm stuck going to Regal instead. Ugh. I'm not saying that the movie theater is bad. It's just that it's not as good as the AMC theater was back home. And it's also more expensive. I liked my $6 movies on Tuesdays. They don't have that here. So, I haven't seen a movie in a while because of the whole illness. But, yeah, moving on to the next con. So, you know when you're in a grocery store and you get stuck behind that old person that takes forever in line? Yeah, literally everyone here is that old person. You go to any grocery store, you're waiting online for, oh my god, it's a freaking nightmare. Unless you're going, it doesn't even matter when you go. You can go smack in the middle of the day. There's so many retired people out here that you're always going to have to wait online behind that one old person. And oh my god, it's a nightmare. Oh, and con number 4, and this is just a personal one, is my apartment isn't nearly as nice as my old one. So, I feel like those are the major complaints I have right now, and I'm sure as time goes on, I'm going to find some other little things that bother me. But For the most part, I think it's mostly good, and I'm going to get into all the pros right now. I mean, the biggest con for me is the old people in the grocery store thing, because that just takes up so much of my time, and time is money, and it drives me nuts when I have to go into the grocery store, and I am stuck behind a literal line of people that are just pulling out all their different coupons, and having the cashier having to double and triple check things. It's a pain in the neck. Anyways, all right. Moving on to the pros. Pro number one is it is so much cheaper to live here. The cost of living is just monumental, like monumentally lower than it is in New York. In New York, I was paying $2,500 a month for an apartment, and here I am paying $825. It is a third. Now, yes, the apartment in New York was much nicer, but if I was paying for an apartment of equal niceness here in Lancaster, I'd be paying maybe $1,100 a month. Real estate is so much cheaper, and that is why I'm looking for a house. You can get a 2,000 square foot single family home for around $250,000, where the same thing in New York would probably cost you around $650. Or at least the part of New York I was living in. You go to the city, you're paying a lot more. And I don't think you can find a single family detached home in New York City anyways. So, yeah. Car insurance, I'm paying about half of what I was paying in New York. For business too, it is absolutely an absolutely incredible just difference. New York, I was paying, I don't know however much it is, but I think I'm paying like 3.5% less tax here for state income tax, which for me is like $5,000 a year. So that right there, huge difference. So yeah, number one, much cheaper to live here, and I love that. Number two, it's just much nicer here. The people living here are nicer than New York people. I mean, New York is a great place for a lot of things, but for the nice people, not the nicest people in the world, New Yorkers. And I would know, because I'm a New Yorker, and I'm not a very nice person. The people here are so nice. I mean, really, just the nicest people around. Number three, traffic is practically non-existent here. I mean, even during rush hour, you'll find almost no traffic. New York, even the parts of New York I was living in, yeah, it was outside the city, about 40 miles. Nightmare to get anywhere. You want to go anywhere where there's like a lot of people, congested areas or whatever. You're going to be sitting in traffic for, especially around the holidays. Like right now, we've got our holidays around here. Around the holidays, it is just a total nightmare in New York. So, number three, yeah, that's great. A lot of scenic places to go and look around here too. So that would be number four, is that there's the Amish country. It is just gorgeous to go out there and just drive. It's very relaxing, soothing. For me personally, and this is number five, is not having to bother with putting up with appearances. When I go out, I like to go out in sweatpants, nice Scooby-Doo t-shirt, nice pair of sweatpants. That's the way I like to do things. I'm not get into a button-down and slacks kind of guy. I don't even like wearing jeans. I mean, sweatpants are what I enjoy living in. And having to get dressed every time I want to go out was such a pain in the neck. But out here, nobody cares. Everybody wears the exact same thing, so why would they bother? So, if you're still here, I mean, thanks for sticking around. I know this video had literally nothing to do with writing, but if you want to hear more about writing and author stuff, I mean, please let me know down in the comments, because the sad truth about writing is that writers don't really get all that much press or publicity. Nobody really talks about writers. I mean, you watch any movie, people talk about the actors, but you do know that people actually had to write the scripts for that movie. Do you even know any script writers? Honestly, if you do, let me know down in the comments. Do you know who wrote the Marvel movies? Because I guarantee you can name every single actor in those movies. So, yeah, it's the sad truth about writing that as a writer, nobody really cares about you or what you have to say. They're interested in your books, but aside from that, just name a few famous writers, and if they are actually going to talker if they made a YouTube channel, if they'd actually be successful. You know, you hear people saying, oh, you can be the next J.K. Rowling. The truth is, nobody can be the next J.K. Rowling, because that ship has long since sailed. We're not living in a time anymore where you can turn 7 books into a multi-billion-dollar franchise. The market is just too congested, and the same opportunities just don't exist anymore. Now, consequently, there are a whole bunch of new markets that have opened up for authors that would otherwise have not been able to do the same thing, and self-publishing is not looked down upon as much as it once was. But, again, sad truth for writers, nobody really cares what you have to say, unless you're another writer. So, if you could just share the video or get my channel out there. I know that it's never going to get to a super huge audience. I mean, I don't even know any self-publishing channels that have more than 100,000 subscribers. I mean, there might be some YouTubers that talk about books and stuff like that that might have gotten over 100,000, but exclusively talking about writing, the business behind it, and how best to go about that. I don't really think there's anyone out there who's gotten it anywhere. I mean, look at this channel. I've literally been flatlining for weeks now. It hasn't gone anywhere. So again, if you can subscribe, if my pathetic begging hasn't convinced you to ditch me and run the other way, that'd be great. Yeah, so if you want 30 days of Kindle Unlimited for free, or a free audiobook with Audible, just sign up using the links down below. All of my books are down there too. Also, if you're looking for a cover artist and you haven't found one yet, Mibble Art, they're very awesome. And if you order using the link down below and tell them I recommended you, they'll be giving you 15% off or adding $15 of value to your next cover. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Keep being super. I am sorry for this video, and I will maybe see you next time.